Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell, and welcome to a new video, and welcome to the suburbs of Moscow, more commonly known as Moscow region. I'm really quite a fair distance from the center of Moscow today, probably more than an hour by car away, much closer by public transport. And right behind me, there is a brand new shopping center that opened today. So I thought I'd take you for a walk around. There is also a brand new supermarket, and I thought I'd combine the video together today and show you a little bit of new retail that's just opened here in Moscow region. The name of the shopping center that we're going to go in is called Lайнер, and it's written in Russian on the second level there, and it references ocean liners. And of course, if you know me, I worked on cruise ships for a lot of years. And when I read about this shopping center and the name of it, I was a little bit curious how they came up with the name. And it's mostly because of the curves of the building. It's built immediately here by a roundabout. And literally the shopping center had to curve around the road to fit into the location. Now it's late afternoon and the sun is slowly going down. And the suburb I'm actually in, or micro-district, is called Novovatutinski. If you're from Moscow, let me know if you've heard of this region or not. And there is lots of apartments here. And the ones that we're looking at right in front of us have probably been here about maybe 8 or 10 years. And then further down the street, there is a whole new lot of buildings that have literally been built in the last couple of years. So this whole micro-district must be super excited that a brand new shopping center's come to this region. Very typically when they build apartments anywhere in Russia, the lower level of the building is generally for commercial rent. So there'll quite often be shops and businesses, and you can pretty much buy everything between 3 or 4 buildings here. If you want to go and get a certain item, you could actually find it walking around. However, a new shopping center is always good. Well, I think so. I just decided to walk across the street for a brief moment just to show this curve in the shopping center. And obviously shopping center builders can't change the shape of the roads, because these were here long before the shopping center was built. And a lot of people were involved in the naming of the shopping center, and they thought that it looked like a ship, or actually even a spaceship, or maybe the ISS craft up in outer space. And that's where the word liner came from. Let's head on inside and have a look around. Now, originally when I came here and I knew about the shopping center opening today, the goal was actually to make a video of the supermarket and the fact that there's a brand new supermarket opening here in Moscow. And then I decided to combine the video and make it about the shopping center and the supermarket together. This really is a suburban shopping center in the Moscow region. So it's not going to be like the big mega shopping centers that you get closer to Moscow. However, it's still very big. It's 2 levels, and it's got some very big spacious shops that they will open eventually. And I think every lady in the region must be happy there's now a jewelry store open right by the entrance. One of the main points of making the video also is to show that retail is alive and well in Russia, and new shopping centers are opening. Now, I'm not in the center of Moscow. I really am in a micro-district, a fair distance away. And then they've got these brand new shopping centers that are just popping up like mushrooms. Well, that's the best way to describe them. They really do want to build them right where the apartment buildings are and these micro districts. And then everyone's got close to home shopping. And that's a big theme of retail in Russia, close to home. So you don't have to travel long distances to go anywhere. anything you need is within a short walking distance of your house. Today actually marked what they're calling the technical opening of the shopping center, and literally earlier on today they opened the doors for the first time. And then I would imagine most people that live immediately in this area have decided at some point to come and have a look today. And maybe a shop that was not here in this region has now appeared. I always find the shopping centers are definitely geared towards the ladies, and all of these different perfume and cosmetic stores and shops which are definitely aimed at the ladies. I don't think there's actually even a men's shop in here that makes sense. So of course, quite a few of the stores are not open. They're all going to open progressively in the next week or two, or the next month, depending on which one or how quickly they'll open. And I think just based on the cloths that you see up, they're working as hard as possible to open as quick as possible, because they want to take advantage of all these new shoppers, and especially if you can open a store in a new shopping center. Now, in every shopping center video that I make, this guy makes an appearance, and I think they had him waiting for me, the floor cleaner, to come and do the floors and run around while I'm filming. And they've actually got a pet shop here, and pretty much it's about the accessories and food for pets. They don't necessarily have pets that you can buy in pet shops in Russia. It's really buying all of the different foods and toys and gadgets. That's really nice. You can always tell somewhere that's newly opened by balloons. And when they've got balloons at the entrance, you know it's a brand new business. It looks like they're going to be opening one of the phone shops right in front of me. There's guys in there busy putting all the furniture and fixtures in there and doing all the lighting. And then on the other side is a glasses shop, or an optician's. I think that's the more correct word to call them. Again, we see balloons, and it looks like the next shop has got all its furniture, just no products inside. And then walking further along, we've got the main anchor tenant, which is a supermarket called Perikrostok, which translates in English to crossroads. So we will actually walk through that. What I might actually do is go on upstairs and have a look at the upper level and see what they have. All of the shops on this side are all curtained off. It does look like this one will be a pharmacy. They've actually got the sticker on the window right there. So that's going to be nice. There'll be a pharmacy here as well. Let's head on up the escalators to the second floor. And the one thing I already see is this big skylight, which really lights up the whole upstairs level very nicely. I really do envy the company that sell these big glass dome roofs to all the different businesses, because they're so popular in the shopping centers. We really crave the light, especially with the 4 seasons in Russia. And then right now we've got long days, and especially coming into summertime, you barely need a light on in here. They actually have a beauty salon right in front of me. This is actually one of the franchise models. It's not a privately owned one. And it looks like they don't have any clients being on the first day. People weren't able to come here before today to make bookings, so they're a little bit stuck waiting for people to come in and actually see the place. And there is a very big fitness center that they've actually got open. I would imagine this is also a anchor tenant for the place, because it's a very big space. And this brand DDX is a chain of fitness centers throughout Russia. So if you've got a membership, you can go to any of the other locations. And actually it's very technologically advanced. You can wear a wristband or have a like a sticker that opens the gate, and then they've got gyms and saunas in the back, and it's a really very nice fitness center. They've actually got these even in shopping centers closer to where I live. I've never been in one, interestingly though. Maybe there's a time and place for me to get in there. I think this might be interesting for lots of people. So in every business around the world, they've always got the things you can't bring into a shop or a location. And for the gym here, you can't bring scooters, can't bring rollerblades, but you can't bring horses inside. Now, can somebody please explain in the comments what the meaning is with that sign and how you can't bring horses into a gym? Maybe you can't bring pets and cats, but horses? I think that's just super interesting. One of the other stores open upstairs here is a place called Dziecki Mir, or Children's World, and this is a supermarket-sized kids shop. Now, this isn't one of their bigger locations. However, all the mums and parents are definitely happy that this place opened, and you can actually shop online and do collection here. And I'm fairly sure they probably have a little bit of it set up already at the back there. You can see these boxes behind the counter, and this is the pickup point, so you can do shopping online. They can do delivery. Most people do it for pickup in store. And this is basically a mixed use supermarket which is focused only on children. So we saw the fitness center just off in the distance, and there is actually also a fitness and nutrition shop here called 5LB, or £5, I imagine. Maybe that's how much they'll promise me to lose if I start taking some supplements. Well, that's pretty handy. Does anybody use any of these products? Do they go to the gym? I mean, I've not been to the gym for so many years. But the fitness nutrition shop is also open. When we were looking from outside, we could see those windows on the upper level, and then pretty much where all these cloths are and these wraparound glass windows is the shops that would face out towards the street. And I think probably going forward they'll end up with a food court here, and they'll probably remove these glass panels and have this as a very nice food court area. And then all of the light can come through and we can enjoy a nice lunch overlooking the streets. I just stepped outside for a minute, and they've actually got a Burger King on this back corner of the shopping center. It's a little bit of a interesting place where they put it. Of course, car park right here and all of the apartment buildings. There's actually a school off in the distance. You can see the different colored paneling for the school. And then even under all of these challenging times and sanctions and companies leaving Russia, Burger King is going nowhere. And I would say they're probably less than a week away from opening. Everything for the restaurant is open or finished. They probably literally just need to bring the staff here. They've actually also got the kiosks all up and running. It's a little bit hard to see through the window, of course. But the main thing is, even with thousands of sanctions, all of these Western brands are staying here in Russia. I know this may seem trivial to a lot of people, particularly if you're watching from Russia, but there's probably a young girl, I would imagine, because it's pink, left her scooter outside. No worries at all. And then over here, there's a few more scooters that have been left. And literally, you can just leave them, come back and grab them and head on home. And there is no problems at all. Another child wouldn't want to take it home. They've got no interest in stealing it or taking it. And they'll literally stay outside there. And even if the child forgot it, they could come back tomorrow and it would still be sitting there. Before I left home to come here today, I said to my wife that I'll actually have lunch at the shopping center in the hope that the food court had a few places open, and it's not. Now, I know that when they open shopping centers like this, and on the technical opening day, there's not always all the places open. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go now into the supermarket, and they've got a cafeteria here. We might even do a bit of food tasting. I know I've mentioned this quite a lot of times in supermarket videos, but I'll definitely point it out here. They've actually got the plastic shopping carts in this store. Now I call them shopping trolleys, and a lot of people call them even shopping buggies. But they're all the plastic versions. And then the more popular one that people would use is these pull carts or baskets, because a lot of people aren't necessarily going to want to carry a lot of things and take it home, particularly if you're walking distance. And have a look, they've got some little miniature ones for the kids as well. And these are actually the metal ones. But that's kind of fun that they've got them for the children. And they've even got yogurt advertised and milks on the top of them, which is something a little bit different. And then walking on inside, what I'll try to do is walk around, hopefully in one take, if I can. And we can actually see what's in this supermarket. Now this store opened this morning, so I'm imagining also some places may not be completely full, but I think they've done a pretty good job, and everything's out and on the shelf. All of the nuts and dried fruit. There's actually even some honeys over here as well. Maybe this is the healthy section, as I always get confused with. And all of the leaf vegetables and anything that you can make a salad from. All these pre-packaged ones which are just easy to take home, and then you're good to go. I've also got some fruits. I'm not a big fan of all of the plastic and packaging on the vegetables and fruits in the stores, but they want it to stay fresh and look good and pristine. So I can understand why they do it. I'm just not a big fan of it personally. Lots of choices of mushrooms. They're still putting stuff out here, of course. And there's some coleslaws. And they do actually have an in-house bakery. So all the thing on this wall is the stuff that they'll get from outside bakers. So I'd say not everything was probably delivered for this morning. And then in the back here, they've got the bakery where they actually make things in-house. And they've got the bread and different things. And they've got some nice pastries as well. Let me see if I can find my bread that I like. I can't see the garlic loaf. There is a slightly bigger one. Oh, I think they're over here. Here is my garlic bread in different types of bread as well, which is nice. And we come around to the refrigerated area. So Petty Crostock, if you've not heard of it before, there is more than 1,000 of these throughout Russia. They're not as common as some of the other typical supermarkets, let's call it. But they're a little bit more niche. They're a little more upmarket from the stores that you'll see in the apartment buildings. And they generally have nicer quality food. And they've got cherries right now, and strawberries. All the seasonal things are in this front bay right here. I think they've been pretty picked over since this morning. They do actually have an in-house butcher as well. And that's the word for meat right on the sign right there. So you can actually get them to prepare what you want. And then it's all by weight. So the whole point of coming to a store like this, to a butcher, is you're not buying anything that's packaged. So you can get just the amount that you like, just the weight of something that you like, and then you can cook it then, and you're good. And you're not dependent then on the size of the packet that the shop is selling you. All the refrigerators here with the very classic deli items. They have a cheese section. And this is where you can also get cheese by weight as well. And the lady will be preparing them here and cutting them down to different sizes. And you can do the same with the meats and salamis on this side. The only thing I find when I come to Perry Cross Stocks is they don't have that traditional layout that you're used to with the aisles like in a bigger supermarket. And you tend to be walking around a few times in a circle till you find something that you particularly want. There's some smoked fish here, and then there's even some fresh fish also. They don't have an aquarium. And there's more smoked fish in this next fridge. Very nice. There's quite a few of these that my wife likes from this store particularly. All of the pickled vegetables. Perry Crossstock also have quite a lot of in-house brands or private labels that they sell in this store. Ooh, let me not pass up the grab-and-go fridge for caviar. You can actually get the black caviar there for just about $47 a jar. And then $10, $15. Red caviar for about $6 and up. So you can pay any price you like for caviar. It really depends a lot on the brand, or maybe even the region where it's from. There is a little frozen section, and you actually have the scoop by weight seafood right there. And then there's some of the frozen vegetables. Not particularly popular in Russia, but they still have them. I almost think I want an ice cream because it's so warm outside. Might have to grab one of those as I leave. And a few more frozen things. I've never had a frozen pizza in Russia. I can literally get one made at the nearby place where I live for about $1 more than the frozen one is. And then as I walk along now, this is a bit more like it, the traditional aisles. And on this right-hand side, all of the dairy products. So all the milks, cheeses, the cottage cheese, yogurts. It's quite a lot now. I was thinking this wasn't going to be a long video, but possibly by combining the two together, it's got a lot bigger than what I thought. But the main thing is, we're here at a brand new supermarket that opened this morning. And they are opening new stores, they're opening new shopping centers, and business is good. Now, all the people that are shopping here probably more than likely know the name of this brand. They'll have shopped at one somewhere else. Of course, it was never in this district until now, so this is completely new. And more than likely, like it is where I live, I have to walk past 7 supermarkets before I would get to a bigger chain supermarket like this. So there's a lot of choices and a lot of places you can buy products from. The thing is, when you come to a bigger supermarket like this, you've got a much bigger selection, and that's what people want. You know, there's definitely a market for just going to the shop in your building downstairs and having it close to home. But when they build a shopping center in your suburb, even more of a bonus. If you're wondering about coffee capsules, they just have some basically generic branded products now that are all still working in the machines. I know this other one here, Lore, they're definitely more than available, and all the different brands of coffee. There is just so many choices when you come into a supermarket. I really hope you're enjoying the walk around of this shopping center, Liner shopping center. When the gentleman told me that, and I sort of mentioned that I'd worked on cruise ships, he just had a big smile on his face because he was just so eager to show me the structure of the building and where they got the name from. So I hope you're enjoying this shopping center and supermarket tour. The store really does have everything. And I didn't fully walk around it before I started making the video. I already know this brand of supermarket very, very well. And I just thought, maybe it's just a small store because the shopping center doesn't feel very big from the outside. When you come in, it just keeps going and going. And they've literally got absolutely anything Even an umbrella if we want one. And coming around to the drink section. So they're definitely still busy filling out the shelves, and I think they'll be more excited for the stores to open today and then to start selling some things to free up some space for more products. I'm so glad that I found my one favorite chocolate that I enjoy a lot in Russia, because every time you come to the chocolate aisle, you're greeted by so many different choices. I think outside of Russia, people will know Anthony Berg. They actually make alcohol-filled chocolates, which are very popular at Christmas time. Every type of Milka possible. And then also over there, Ritter Sport and Toblerone. So all of the well-known brands are here. So this is the candy aisle, basically, with all the different types of sweets. So a lot of the very traditional Soviet brands mixed in with some Western brands as well. Lots of marzipan products right here. And they've got a very small pay-by-weight section. So if you just want a handful of one particular candy or the other, you just weigh it out yourself on the scales, and it gives you the sticker, and you're good. Very easy to do. Let's have a look at their alcohol section. Now, I did notice when I walked in that the alcohol section's not completely finished, because I think they probably are still waiting for their liquor license for spirits. However, the beers, they've got probably at least 150 types of beer in the shop. So if you live local and you know this brand, you can walk right in and find your favorite beer much easier now than you could in the past. All of the sugary drinks, and then over here we've got the chips. Lots of corn chips I'm noticing now when I see a lot of the different ones on the shelf. The usual 20 flavors of Lay's, and even Mission chips. We had these in Australia as well. Check out those Burger King flavored nacho chips. That's interesting. The last thing I want to point out in this store here is the cafe that they've got. And this is becoming a very popular thing in supermarkets all over Russia now. So you can actually get yourself a snack or something to eat, and in between shopping, you can actually sit down and relax. And they've got pizza by the slice. They have sushi. Now I think they actually make the sushi here. Probably they do it in the mornings. And they definitely make the pizza in the store as well, because they've got the lady one back there doing one. And there's also fresh sandwiches. And then you can actually sit down here, and actually at each table they've got charging points as well. So you can charge your phone, which is nice and handy. And you can just relax. If you get some of the ready food, there's a microwave, there's the cutlery right there, so it's all easy to just sit down and grab whatever you want. And then again, more cakes. Look very nice. I came here hungry, and now I'm even more hungry as I'm seeing all the different food choices. So I'm going to have to find something. And they've also got ready-made salads. And this is all by weight as well, so they'll just literally put it in a container for you. You're not obliged to get a certain size or an amount. So if you want a little bit of everything, you can. And they've got some ready food here also. I've actually had the chicken wings here before, they're very nice. And then all of this is done right here. And the kitchen is completely open, and then you just sit down at the cafe there. I just want to take a minute and show you some of the different soft drinks here. And let's call it 2 years later since all of these brands left Russia, or said they've left Russia. We've got Red Bull here from Austria. We've got Dr. Pepper here from USA. We've got Schweppes. That's come all the way from Poland. Now all of these other brands. Eves is actually the Pepsi products that got relabeled that are made domestically. And then over here where all of these different colas are, now there is actually Pepsi that's come from Belarus. And then there is Coca-Cola. Now there's Coke in a couple of different places. There's one that's from Azerbaijan. And then I did notice also the Pellegrino, that's all from Italy. And then up the top here, this one is from Mexico. Now, the way you can actually tell that they're not domestic products by these labels. So generally the product is produced in the factory in that country. And then when it's imported to Russia, they then put the import label on it with the ingredients in Russian. This coconut water is from Thailand. So there is more than enough products just on 2 shelves here. Of course, there is also Russian brands mixed all the way in. Most of the Russian brands were here long before all of these brands decided to leave, but they've now just got more shelf space. So I pretty much have more choices now than I did have 2 years ago. I seem to keep discovering something new every time I walk around a different shelf or aisle because of the way the shop's laid out. I think it's intended that you get a little bit lost when you come in here and you keep looking for things and keep finding things, of course. This is the cereal aisle, which doesn't have that many products. It's not very typical that kids have cereal for breakfast in Russia. All of the long life milks. And then they've got the eggs right here. And if you're curious about the price of eggs right now, the in-house pack of 10 goes for $1.05 US. They do actually have some smaller eggs on the next shelf for 82 cents US. And even if you want the fancy ones at the bottom there, $1.30. And these are all coming in packages of 10. And they do have the bigger 20 pack at the top there. So 20 eggs for $2.50 US. I thought to end the video, I'd have a couple of slices of pizza. And I've had pizza at this supermarket chain many times before. And just sit here for a few minutes and rest my legs and make the journey home. And I'm going to let you know what the pizza's like as well. So if you have made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. You can click away anytime you like. But if you're getting to this very end, you may as well watch the last minute or two of me doing some pizza tasting. Now, these are 99 rubles per slice, so pretty much $1 per slice. One thing I do forget to mention a lot when I'm doing supermarket tours is that in Russia, everything is tax inclusive in the prices. So whenever I quote something like this for 100 rubles, it's $1. There's no added tax like there would be in America, for instance, or Canada and different countries like that. So there is tax already included in the receipt. If you were actually to look at your printed receipt, you would see that there's some kind of a goods and services tax added. And it will vary the percentage depending on the type of food, whether it's prepared food or uncooked food or different types of food and ingredients in the shop. So I chose a tomato and cheese pizza. This was the one that I'm going to go for first. Now, I'm not very polite and very gracious when I eat pizza. I just grab it and go for it. And it's really quite nice. And you have to remember, I'm sitting in a supermarket. Now, where you live in the world, do you go to a cafe in a supermarket to have lunch? It's a very popular thing to do here. Now, the one thing that people like about it is that pretty much the ingredients that go into making the food is things that they sell in the store. So you know and trust the brand of the supermarket and then the cafe at the same time. All right. The tomato and cheese one, and it's a bit of a deep pan style pizza as well. I did actually have them warm it up for me because they're not warm when they get them off the counter there. And then this one I think is a meat lover's pizza. This one is good as well. Mate, for a supermarket meal, it's amazing. If I compare it to going in Australia, we don't have anything like this where I can actually have a meal in a supermarket. And in Russia, it's very common, and it's in every city in Russia that you can do this, particularly in the chain supermarkets like this. And very often I go to have a meal in the supermarket because I know it's good value. It's a nice hearty meal. And it's not really considered fast food, like you could go to Burger King once that opens outside here. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little tasting. I mean, I'd give them, let's say 8 out of 10, which I think the last couple of points I'd have to be sitting in Italy with my friend David to give it 9 or 10 out of 10, because I think you need the company and you need the location for pizza to be at its best. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That way I know that you've watched it. And if you got to the pizza section, let me know that you're a pizza lover or you've watched the pizza tasting part of the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of the whole video and the shopping center and the fact that new shopping centers are opening here in Russia. They are opening. Even under all of these thousands of sanctions that I keep hearing about, I'm just wondering where they are, because you know, all of the materials that go to build the shopping centers, they exist in Russia for domestic construction. There's very little of this building would have been imported to get here. Perhaps the elevator circuitry, even those are Russian branded elevators that I used to come from the upstairs level. If you want to join me on Telegram, there'll be a link right over here. I'm not sure how much space there'll be for the links today. And then if you want to see another video, click this link to see another tour of a supermarket in Russia, and you can stay watching Traveling with Russell. Thanks everybody. I'm off on another adventure. Bye.